Oh, wait. Is it that time? Are we live? Are we live? Who's joining us? All right. Lucy out there in New Hampshire. Right on. We've got, Cat Girl and more Lucy. All right, here we can wave to you guys. Welcome. It's another Patio Stories here. Wow. Okay, well, obviously you can see I'm not quite at the patio yet, but where I am, if you've been following any of these patio stories for the past couple weeks, you may know that I'm in my side yard. My backyard's where the patio is. But we've talked a little bit about not only the voles, those darn gopher-like rodents that have a whole tunnel system here that would make the New York Metro subway system jealous, but nonetheless, we've got back here, which kind of has been a bit of a star, and it's the lone rose. It's the lone rose of Leucadia, I guess. And here, we've had some hot days, and there's no water really here. This rose is resilient. This rose does communicate hope. But what we also have, the previous lone rose, but it's a thorny situation right now. But look at this. It's a new bloom. So that means we're going to have another rose. So the young is going to take over, I guess, for the old. But this rose obviously it has a bit of a history here with the Patio Stories on Instagram. So why don't we just take it and have it join us today? What do you think? Is that a good idea? There we go. There we go. I can almost set it up here. Oh, we just lost a petal. Huh. The lone rose of Leucadia, San Diego. So, let's get a little different angle there. There we go. Okay, so we've got I've got a special guest joining us for this Patio Stories. This is the fourth edition I've done. Can you believe this? This is it's become into a regular thing. Oh, there's the Forks fan. You guys know that. There's the camel. This is the old man of Lesotho. And I got some breaking news, more breaking news. Let's take that rose off. It's a resilient old rose, isn't it? So we're marching back to the patio with the rose. So I've got a special guest today. We're going to do something live here, believe it or not, on the Patio Stories. It's not necessarily a pretty thing. Actually, it is a pretty thing in one sense of the word, and it's not so pretty in the other sense of the word. So I'm going to go ahead and set this camera down on the table. I hope that... okay. Yeah. There we go. Here, I guess we can lose the hat. The shades. There we are. Awesome. So how are you guys doing? You having a good day? It's Wednesday, isn't it? It's a nice Wednesday. It's been a beautiful day here in San Diego. Down in Florida, down in Cape Canaveral, they had a bad day, I guess. Weather wasn't so good, was it? Because we were supposed to have the first U.S. astronauts launched into space from the United States in something like 11 years. And Elon Musk had the whole pomp and circumstance all set up, but I guess it didn't go. They've postponed that, I see, until, I think, Saturday. So I've got a little vase here. Let's get that rose a little bit better home. There we go. Nice. So, and of course, there's a couple business. I'm gonna show you down here. I've got a whole charcuterie plate set up here, and there's plenty of crackers, cheese, and some sliced apple. But obviously, I've got more than enough for me. That's why I've got a guest coming tonight. And then as I look inside my house, I see I've got two other guests there, the feline character. But nonetheless, let's just get into the breaking news. Now, if you saw this last week, I guess it was last Thursday or Friday we did this. I can't really remember. But I made an announcement because we went by the Forks van. You can see that Forks is now in its fourth printing. It was sold out on Amazon for months, partially because I've been traveling so much. But now in lockdown, I could finally pull the trigger and make the investment and get more copies. So this is the hardcover version. It has a nice dust jacket and a beautiful cloth cover for Forks. And now available at Amazon or at forksthebook.com. I can sign some copies of these, send them off to you if you don't have one. I know, Lucy, you already have one. Maybe some of you others already do. But this is the breaking news. Look, it's a soft cover, but it's a super high quality soft cover. It's thick, you know, it has the feeling still of a good coffee table book. But you know what? The best part is $20 cheaper. That's right, $20 cheaper. Those of you who've made recipes, I just actually cooked the Malawian banana bread called nathochi a couple nights ago. Oh my God, off the charts. It's so good. Everybody's baking now in this lockdown, and actually now we're beginning to slowly open up, which is a good sign. But hopefully those things that we've learned in this lockdown era, such as maybe a joy of cooking a bit, a joy of trying something new, that you enjoy it. So Forks softcover, $30, available at Amazon or forksthebook.com. Another piece of breaking news is, for those of you who don't know anything about the book, first of all, this chronicles my 3-year journey around the world on a motorcycle, where I traveled through 5 continents and visited 35 different countries. Each of those countries is represented in my book in its own chapter. So if I open up right here, you see Peru, and of course the infamous Machu Picchu, the ancient stone city that sits high above the cloud forest there in the Andean mountains. But you go through the book, and it's a story and photographs, usually about connecting with people. And then the creme de la creme is the end of the chapter, always has a recipe. It's a recipe that's kind of a signature dish for that country. And if you go to Peru and you don't have lomo saltado, I'm going to have to be the first one to tell you haven't been to Peru and you've got to go back. Sure, there's other things there like the cuy, which maybe you might not enjoy. But this book has 35 recipes. And everybody's always asked, when are you going to do a Kindle version? And, you know, I mean, this is a visual, exciting book. It doesn't lend itself to a Kindle. I think maybe down the road I could just take the stories and put it into a little ebook like that. But the whole idea of doing the book as a coffee table book with the recipes, with the photographs, is so you could really see the country through those photos. You could also feel the country through the story, through my writing. And of course you can taste that country through its we just turned that around, didn't we? How do we do that? Okay. Well, you can see the cats there. That was very strange. I don't know how that happened, because the reverse the camera thing is all the way up in the top, but something I touched here. Anyway, the book doesn't lend itself to that. So what I've decided to do, and I've been spending the last couple years, obviously not full time, on this project, but what I've done is I have now created 35 different ebooks, not Kindle. These will be available on the Apple bookstore, and they are full color. Will be a chapter. Each book is one of those chapters. So if you're interested, you buy Peru. You can see the great pictures of Machu Picchu. You can have the lomo saltado recipe. And what you don't get in the printed version of the book, and what I've gone through painstakingly, each of those chapters also has some enhanced content, usually a video or a slideshow of additional images and some additional narration that I've done. So I have literally written this book over again, 35 at least different chapters with a story that I put together to a little bit of music, to some video content if I have it, or some more images. It's fantastic. It's not out yet, but it is coming out. So keep your eye out, and eventually we are going to have the ability for somebody just to buy, for $3 or $4. It's not going to be expensive, but you could buy one chapter. And if you want, you can buy all chapters. It's not sold as a complete book because the size, because of all the images in this coffee table, the print version, exceed the allocation, the maximum size of the file that any of these ebook stores they dictate. So I couldn't do it as a one complete book. So the brilliant idea, I thought it was pretty brilliant, because some people may just want to have a taste. Sounds like a motorcycle guy, a little crotch rocket. Anyway, this gives people to have a little flavor, taste, and choose countries that maybe they're interested in. So that's the breaking news. We've got a new softcover version for $20 cheaper than the hardcover, and soon, within the next 30 days, they will be released on the Apple bookstore. You can buy just a chapter from that book. So fantastic stuff. So as the birds start squawking and all that, let's get down to business. It's Patio Stories. I've got a guest here, and I think she arrived a bit ago. Where is she? I haven't had a haircut in more than 6 or 7 weeks. And where is she? Come on, where are you? Angelique from Entourage Salon in Carlsbad is here to join me on Patio Stories. It's not that, say hi everybody.
Hello.
This is Angelique. You can call her Angie. I haven't even trimmed this beard. I'm feeling real shaggy. I'm starting to get that bozo kind of look. This is not good. So I convinced Miss Angelique that if she would come over here, I'd give her a glass of wine, of course. Wait a minute. Should I let her drink before she gets there? There's not that much hair.
Yes.
It's okay? Okay. It'd be good to take the cork off of it.
I always thought.
Okay, so this is the Denner. Okay, so this is a beautiful rosé. It's a blend of several Rhone varietals. Oh, Dar's here. Come on, Dar. Come on. Okay, so little rosé to toast for Patio Stories, 4th episode. Thank you for coming over, Angie.
My pleasure.
Please, I've got some cheese here, I've got some apple, I've got some prosciutto, I've got a little bit of salami, whatever you like. Hey, if you guys are sitting around, it's 5 o'clock everywhere, by the way. Cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers to all of you, and thanks for tuning in. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see all of this stuff. It's always a little tempting, but I'll throw them on in a second. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to tell you some stories, and Angie is going to trim this mess and maybe tighten me up a bit, because I'm really feeling pretty bad. So we're going to talk to that. So we've got Lucy knows about Dar. The stylist abroad. Okay, well, the stylist abroad. Well, I've got my stylist here. Of course, I don't think this really requires any kind of style, believe it or not. It just right now, what I would call it, a little bit of a cleanup. So it's good to see you here. Calabroni's here. Okay, great. Nice to see you. I'm going to kind of go back. You guys, awesome. So good to see all of you. So let's, we got to get a little bit of, we'll shed some of the, a bit of light here. And you want to, how do we do this?
So you sit, I'm going to drape you.
Okay.
And I will work around you talking and sipping your wine.
Okay, great, because I've got some great Manchego right here. So,
might be a little noisy.
Okay, so I'm going to say one thing before you start that. I was trying to count today. I think I've had haircuts in 39 or 40 different countries. Okay? That's a lot of haircuts. This thing fell off. Is this going to be all right? This is...
There we go.
Okay. So 39 or 40 different countries I've had haircuts because it's one of the things of life when you travel long term on the road. And I don't carry anything like this to trim the beard. I can shave the clean parts, but I can't obviously clip or trim that. So yeah, I was trying to put it together, and I mean my recollection, and I've got a pretty good memory and great notes, but as Angie tells this story, I want to tell you about a haircut I had. Two of them I want to talk about. I want to talk about a haircut I had in Egypt. Okay.
Start.
So it taken a hell of a hard time for me to get from Sudan
Yes.
to Egypt. Have you ever been to Sudan?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever been to Egypt?
No, I have not.
Would you like to? Which of the two places would you rather go to?
Egypt.
That was pretty. That was a trick question, wasn't it? You better get some power here. Do we have power?
Nope, I'll do the other.
Put it in the other one. Technology problems out here on the patio. Anyway, so I'm in. I finally get through from Sudan, Wadi Halfa, the very north point of Sudan. That's a little tiny little settlement that sits on the edge of Lake Nasser, and then I take a ferry boat that takes I don't know, probably 20 hours or so. I don't want to get any of my hair in my wine. And I get to Lake get on that ferry. 20 hours or so later, we're in Aswan, and that's in the very bottom of the Nile River, at least from Egypt's point of view. And it's there. My motorcycle gets locked behind customs doors, and until I have about 12 rubber stamps, 15 pieces of paper, and 3 meetings with officials, I can't get my motorcycle out. So I got to spend a few days, obviously, while I dealt with the bureaucratic. And by the way, Egypt had the most bureaucracy of any country I've ever been to, and I've been to 81 now, of dealing with the motorcycle and getting it into that country. So it's no joke when I tell you that. So part of the things, I take care of business. Obviously, I've got to go see some of these islands down in Aswan. The Nubian people are really hospitable, and I've got to get a haircut. And in Aswan, every one of the barbers that I found were all men, and I'm sure there were some salons that might have been deeper into parts, but as I asked around, where can I get a haircut, I was referred to a guy. So I finally find a guy who's got some time, and this haircut cost me nothing. I mean, I think it cost me maybe $4 to $6, and he sits me down in a regular old barber chair, just like we have here, and proceeds to delicately start with a clipper like Angie's doing right now, but then he gets out the shears. And I'm like, look at my head, okay? I mean, you don't need, you look at some of these Egyptian men, you get definitely scalp and hair envy because they're thick. They're going to have that hair until the day that they have to move on to the next point of their of our existence, because the hair is so thick, and the rich mustaches and that. And you look at me, I got this fine, thin, I've been a towhead all my life, but here he's going at those clippers. And what was so fascinating is how fast he could move them. And to the rhythm of the music that was playing, the Egyptian music on there, he was tick, 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 tick. And he literally had a rhythm as if this was a percussion instrument, his shears. And he gets through that, and then he gets out the best part. I thought was the best part was the single blade, that open edge, that what do you call that? The razor?
Yeah,
It's
it's a type of a razor. Yep, it's a blade.
It's a blade, and it's he gets that blade close to your neck, and you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, how is the Egyptian and American, how's our diplomacy doing before you get going? I mean, it is sharp. He lathers me up with this brush and shaving cream and gets it all up and waves that little one single edge blade at me and takes his hand and says, turn your head. Well, he didn't need to say it. He basically just did it anyway. And he starts going at me. It's just getting the closest shave. Now, it's not the first time, obviously, that I've had a single edge. Yeah, that beard is so nasty and gnarly.
It's pretty long.
Oh man. Anyway, this blade, he's going at me. It's getting real tight, but it seems like it's the most close I've ever had, closest shave ever. And then when he gets done, he starts getting a little blowing hair, brushing it off of me. Do I need to do anything here? You can
Nope.
tell me. I mean,
You're good.
Okay. So thank God I'm getting.
Just maybe keep your wine a little.
I got to
bit
keep
better.
my wine over here, man. I got I want my beard in my wine. Well, anyway, thank you for putting up with this. Okay,
Of
this
course.
give me a big hand for Angie for this. This is awesome. She's cool. So after he's brushed everything off, he starts looking at my edge on the sideburns that lead into the beard. He looks close at my earlobes, and he sees something that he doesn't really like there, which is a little bit of hair on the earlobe. And being as thorough and efficient as this guy is, he then goes over to his drawer and he pulls out a long piece of thread. At least that's what I think it is. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. What's going on now? So he walks up to me and he's snapping it, with the same kind of rhythmic moves that he was doing the shears. And he gets up close to my ear. And he goes, snap! And I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? And almost if I could film this thing in slow motion, I could see the little earlobe hair just slowly drift to the bottom of the floor. He's trimming the hair on my earlobes with a string, with a thread.
Yep.
And if that's not all, then he starts doing it on my sideburns. Have you ever heard of this?
Threading.
Threading. It's called threading. Do you do this?
I do not do that.
Okay. I was wondering if yeah. So as he proceeds to give me this most thorough haircut, he finishes me off with a thread. Now, to the layman, you might think that thread is not really a thread. That's, okay. How much are you going to pay me? Snapping it back and forth. So he does the other ear. He gets right under the nose. Boom. He does the side of the mustache. And then he's just threading me over, making a perfect line that I never experienced before at any barber. Okay, what are we doing now?
Okay, now we're going around the edges to
Okay.
clean it up, so you can clean up your neck hair and your ear hair that you're talking about.
Okay, the ear. Okay, yeah, the lobes. You gonna get some threads? Okay, so have you ever had that threading? It's a very interesting. I guess if you've been to cosmetology school or something like this, you may have seen this, heard of this. I had never, and my experience in barbers is, I think most barbers think this is going to be a real easy one, so it's a high margin, right? It's high margin, right? Because it's a 10-minute deal, right?
Right.
Well, this guy didn't spend 10 minutes though. I have to tell you, he spent, I want to say, well over 40 minutes, and didn't speak really great English. His name was Muhammad, believe it or not. Can you imagine that? It's like going to Bali and meeting somebody named Made. Yeah, everybody's named Made, even the girls and the boys. Did you know that? Have you been to Bali? Do you know that the people are named, in the Buddhist culture there, in the Balinese, by your birth order. So if you're the first one born, regardless if you're a boy or a girl, your name is Made. And so on. Second born, I don't recall all the names. I do remember that one, but there's plenty of Mades because a lot of first kids, But that was that was my most interesting haircut. Was in Egypt, and more recently I was in the Balkans, and I went to the very new country of Kosovo. Have you ever been to Kosovo? Kosovo is a landlocked country. It has Serbia to the north, Albania to the east, and to the west rather, and it has I guess Bulgaria. Bulgaria. Anyway, it's it's south of it is Macedonia, and you probably have a bit of a Bulgaria might be touching that. We'll have to look at the map, but it's anyway, it's landlocked, and at one point a lot of that territory was part of the greater Yugoslavia, under Tito. But during the Balkan War and the NATO bombings of 92, 93, I think they were, the NATO bombings of 92, 93. Kosovo, that territory was liberated and given to, I shouldn't say given, it was claimed, and you need me to shut up for a minute?
We did.
Okay. So anyway, it's now part of the EU. It's got its own flag, although if you travel through Kosovo, you see more Albanian flags, and frankly American flags too, because it was an American-led NATO force that liberated this land for the ethnic Albanians, who were obviously discriminated. Slobodan Milosevic, the psycho war criminal Serbian general and ex-president, prime minister, whatever he was. Are we done?
We're done.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
There you go.
I mean, isn't this great? Having a haircut under the guise of Patio Stories. Are you going to pull up a chair and join us? I'm going to tell one little more story here.
Yeah,
and there's
go ahead.
plenty of
I'm
wine.
Gonna clean up. Yep, I have some wine and appetizers.
Okay. Cheers here.
Cheers.
Thank you, Angie.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is great. Maybe we should open up a little bit of happy hour salon and wine tasting. You can put those on the floor over here.
Okay.
Just put them over by my hat.
Okay. By your hat.
Yeah,
okay.
there. Anyway, Kosovo. It's very unique because there's on top of one building is a replica of the Statue of Liberty. On the corner of one of the major roadways in the country is a statue of Bill Clinton, and there is a street named after Hillary. So the Kosovoans, the ethnic Albanians, the Kosovo people, love Americans, and they're particularly fond of Hillary and Bill Clinton, believe it or not, and because he was president during the NATO bombing. Do you want to come on in here and be on camera and say hello to people? Come on, slide it in here. Come on, Ange, you can make this place look a little better than I can. Okay, so cheers, and we have the rose. See, there we go.
Cheers.
All right, thanks for the haircut.
You're welcome.
So the last story about haircuts I'm gonna tell you. Hey, Dice, we got Dice here. Is in Kosovo. There's like a lot of the European. What I love about the European cities is there always is a long pedestrian promenade or boulevard, and it's a place where all families come out to dine. There's nice cafes, always outdoors during the summertime, of course, and shops, boutiques, and always like street musicians, and just kind of gives you a flavor. And walking up and down is a great place to come here. Oh, sorry. Oh boy. Whoa. Oh, I scared Dar. I'm so sorry. Dar, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you? I just grabbed her because I thought you... Okay, here we go. Look, here. You want a little cheese? Okay. So Dar's here, walking all over the food. Sorry, Dar. Dar's just going to sit there and kind of, here, maybe I can do this. Oh, that's Dice. And there's Dar. Dice is in the window over there. Dice is the cat I'm fostering. Dar? Okay. Say hi to all the people here on...
Darcy.
Okay. Anyway, so along this promenade, I'm looking now. It's kind of the high rent district. It might be the captive audience crowd, but it is the kind of the center of where people get together. They sit around, and all right, Dar's having some cheese now, and connect. So I'm wandering around and looking, and I'm trying to find a barbershop or a salon, and then I see one kind of tucked in a little alcove. And I go in there, and there's just one chair. It's tiny. It's about the size of a little bit larger than a closet, but it's kind of decked out. It's got pictures of different styles, and there's a young guy in there with lots of hair and very well trimmed mustache and perfectly clean. I mean, and I say, hey, can I get a haircut? And he tells me, he had another appointment. There was a guy just walked in after I got there, so I would be next. By the time I returned, he sets me down in the chair, and I looked around to see if there was any threads, and thankfully there were no threads. But what he told me, and I'm always curious about people, where do they learn their craft? And this guy from Kosovo comes from a family where his father, his grandfather, and two of his uncles cut hair, the whole family. And then he tells me he started cutting hair for money. He was cutting hair before for friends. He started cutting for money when he was 11 years old. 11. And he was right now 27 years old. So he'd been cutting at 27 for 16 years. And he was very efficient. I was out of there. He even gave me a splash of some kind of smell good stuff and slapped my head around a bit with a little bit of a, bongo drum massage on there, and lifted off the apron and let me out into there. And that was one of those, I think, 39 or 40 countries, Kosovo and Egypt, that I got my haircut. So it's pretty good. I have so much more to tell you about Egypt, but as it goes, it's Patio Stories. We try to keep these things, in a half an hour or less. So I'm gonna grab my glasses and see if there's been any more. If anybody has any questions. Okay, Elijah. Oh, Colette, good to see you. You got to see me get a haircut. How are you? Colette's a neighbor, kind of. Colette's actually been on the patio here before with Jeff Sauls and company. I believe George Walter was here. Some other folks that have been on previous podcasts of mine and previous webcasts. So before I shut down, I want to let you all know that I have been. It was started as a whim. This little patio storytelling series started as a whim, but I did start a webcast. It's every Monday, it's usually around, early afternoon California time. This week it's going to be at 3 p.m. I've got Leon Logothetis, and he is a author. He is a host of a TV show, TV producer. He does the Kindness Diaries. He travels around the world, and he shows that people, no matter where you go, are kind. And that Kindness Diaries is on Netflix or Amazon Prime. It's amazing. He's traveled across the United States on a motorcycle. He went from Alaska to the bottom of Argentina to Ushuaia in a car, in a Volkswagen, and the whole mission is always to find people who are kind and document that. It's a beautiful story. He's a super nice guy. He's Greek, but grew up most of his life in London. Now I believe he is in LA. We're going to talk about how kind people are. That's a webcast. You can go register.journeyswebcast.com, register.journeyswebcast, and you can see that. And also other people like Jeff Sauls, I mentioned, have been guests on the webcast, and all the replays, even though if you missed it live, it's okay, because I put them all up on YouTube, and you can go to journeyswebcast.com and see all those replays. Angie, have you seen any live yet? You've seen
I've seen the journeys that you've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
four of the journeys. Yeah.
Not live though. Replays.
Replays. Okay. Just with my life.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to, but really enjoyed them.
Yeah. So these are really cool. And the other thing I've done is I've taken the audio of those webcasts. For those of you who can't sit and stare at a screen for an hour, we keep those to an hour. But we're always sharing video and content, and people can interact through a chat room, and it's really kind of fun live. But if you can't do that and you'd like to hear, because the stories are great that we're sharing, talks about the journeys we're all on together, journey of life, the journeys we all have taken, and some of them were journeys that we maybe wish we didn't taken, but kind of a chance to to share stories and connect, especially in this lockdown time. So I've taken the audio without the video content and repurposed many of those also on the World Rider podcast. And I just recorded last night a new podcast that will get posted sometime either over the weekend or early next week. So a lot of different places if you can't always tune in. And I take these stories as well, and they're all available. The last 3 are on YouTube as well at World Rider. So check that out. And it's really good. I like having this time. I like every time there's somebody else just joined us. Okay, Fausto Lazada. Okay, thank you for tuning in. If anybody has any questions before we wrap this up, let me know. Okay. So there's another story that happened in Egypt when I was chased by the police on my motorcycle. I'm not gonna tell you that story, but next time you see my World Rider go live on Instagram, I'm gonna share that story as well. So I got a haircut. Thank you.
Welcome.
We're not really socially distanced, I guess, right now, but is it okay? I mean, you did cut my hair and...
Wash my hands.
Okay, I'll wash my hands as well. So be safe out there. Things are getting better,
They are.
Focus on how you're finding new passions, new things to do in this time. And just as we open up, don't forget that, because sometimes it takes a challenge or a fork in the road for you to really decide maybe to go a different direction or try something new, right?
Yep, it's true.
Okay, so this has been Patio Stories with Allan Karl. Let's chat with Angelique Walters from the Entourage Salon in Carlsbad. That's entouragesalon.com. If you're in the San Diego area, this is the place you should get. Believe me, I don't need to go to there because they specialize in just great work. You should see their Instagram too. What's your Instagram?
Entourage Salon.
Entourage Salon 1, isn't it? Or
yeah, I think it is Entourage Salon 1, actually.
Because I don't think So you can see the kind of work they do with women and guys. It's just fantastic. People that actually have hair. So give a shout out to Entourage Salon. Thank you so much, Entourage and Angie.
Thank you.
And we will see you for the next episode on there. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.